Good morning. This morning's session is about using your iPad and the tips and tricks. And I would appreciate as we're going through here, you tell me any tips and tricks you know of, or add to the tips and tricks I'm mentioning. Okay? Fair enough?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Oh, come on. Is it going to go? I'm setting up my iPad so it does not go off.
In the meantime, I have a tip that I use every single day.
Good, go with it.
If you're using an iPad with the pencil, if you swipe with the pencil from lower right-hand corner up to the middle, it will take a screenshot and you can write on it. I do the puzzles in the paper every day using this method. And then when you're done, you just delete the screenshot.
That's
It
cool.
works like a charm.
So that's with a pencil, you go from the right corner up,
Yes,
and you can write on the picture
yes,
with the pencil.
with the pencil.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, you have to have a pencil.
Yep.
And it's the pencil that goes with the iPad, not one of these stick ones.
I understand. The $90 one or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
I just bought my friend one for $36. It's not a Apple brand, but it worked.
That's what's cool. Okay. Yep.
Really?
Where did you buy it?
Amazon, where do I buy everything?
We all buy everything now, right? Hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
First of all,
Yes.
first tip is if you have an iPad, you can pretty well turn it into a computer with two things. First of all, it's this thing.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a remote keyboard, or this thing, right?
Hey, Bill.
That's an Apple keyboard. Any Bluetooth keyboard you can attach. Yes?
We
Right.
don't see your
Somebody have
screen.
a question?
We don't see your screen.
I do.
You don't
I
see me? I'm showing you the,
I don't see your screen.
Yes,
I-
we see it.
We see it.
We see it.
I don't see it.
I
The
see
problem
it.
is if everybody else is not mute, so they overtake your screen when, if they talk while you're showing something.
let me mute everybody. There we go. So we got this, if what I'm seeking, you got this, right?
Yeah.
Or you get one of these. And this is an Apple keyboard, but any Bluetooth keyboard will work. Okay,
Great.
now for the purpose of the class, I have disconnected those. For the purpose of the class, I have disconnected those because I want to do things exactly like most people have it. Second thing is a mouse. Here's a mouse. You can now put a mouse on an iPad. Again, it has to be a Bluetooth mouse. I got a combination Bluetooth and I guess they call it wireless mouse, right? Where you have a little dongle you plug in. And this works great. I can use it on my computer and my iPad. All right, so that's the first one for today. Now I'm going to switch over and show my screen here. I'm just going to move some things around.
while you're moving, I just saw on Amazon a multi-device Bluetooth keyboard for $34.99, and you
Oh.
can get it tomorrow. And it holds both your iPad and your phone.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you.
Will it work for any iPad or only the newer models?
Now, the keyboard,
Yeah,
it'll work with any keyboard, well, it depends on how old.
It's a 5th generation. It's not that old,
What's,
but 2 years,
about 2 years, yes, it will work.
it will. Okay.
If it accepts Bluetooth, it should work no matter what the model.
Bill, I'd asked this question last week. I think you answered me in an email. When you want to use a Bluetooth, a wireless mouse on an iPad, you need a dongle,
A what?
a dongle for a USB. Because
No,
no,
no, the Bluetooth doesn't connect with the dongle, does not.
okay.
A dongle.
Everybody understand what we mean when we say dongle?
no,
Yes.
no.
Sounds questionable.
It's not a dirty word.
This is not risque. It's one of these little things.
Show it again, please.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Show it again, Bill. I didn't see it.
Got it. You know, I'm working at the refurb project and we get a lot of computers
Yeah.
donated and they forget to take these out.
Ah,
Okay,
I have one with my Fitbit
yep.
that controls my Fitbit.
All right.
So,
Yeah.
I'm looking something up here, just a minute.
Bill,
Yes,
does the refurb project want mice also?
sure.
Yeah, okay.
We take everything. Now, you know, if you donate a computer that's totally irreplaceable, we actually have a group that recycles them. Or someone comes by and recycles them.
Okay.
good to know.
All right, I'm going to share my screen now. And if somebody would just tell me what you're looking at right now, what are you looking at?
Your screen.
You're
Screen.
right.
Screen.
My iPad?
Yes.
Good.
Out for you.
I'm hoping that's what you're looking at. And when I bring this up, I can't see, well, I can't see all your faces. I just see some of you. But I am looking at the chat room as well. So if you want to ask me a question, then you can also send it to me, not only verbally, but you can send me a chat as well. Let's start out with the sweeps, right? I call it the sweeps. When you look at your iPad, and you take your finger, in my case, I can take my mouse. Let me take my mouse. And that's the little dot running around the screen. If I put it up here at the top right and I drag down, I get something called the control center. So that's the first sweep. And there's a bunch of nice controls here that do all kinds of nice things for you. Like put you into airplane mode. It's allowing me to share my screen on my computer, and that's how you're seeing me. I can lock, rotate right there. I can quiet or mute my phone. I can turn it into an Apple control. All kinds of nice little features. And you might ask me, well, Bill, how come yours looks different than mine? And the reason is, if you go to settings and control center, here are the things that are on mine.
Oh, okay.
And here are the things I can add. Okay. So I've added all these things to mine. And it's the normal kinds of controls there. If you wanted to remove one, let's say I wanted to remove the Apple remote, I just click the minus and it doesn't remove anything from my device. It just removes it from the control center. So that when I go back to the control center, that particular control is no longer there. And you notice I could get to the control center at any time by putting my fingers slightly off the screen at the top right and pulling down. The next one is the same kind of sweeping where you do it from the right side, the left side of the screen. Did I say the right or left? Anyway, it's the left side of the screen, and you put your finger on the left side, right at the top, and you pull down, and you get something called the notification center. And these are notifications you're getting from various applications. And you can say, well, Bill, how are you getting news? How are you getting information from the news application? Right? Well, the way in which you get those is, again, you go back to settings. Oops, sorry, wrong place. Go back to settings. And there's something called the notifications. Right? And here I have listed all my applications that are capable of sending me notifications. So if I wanted to get notifications from Stock Tracker, which is an app I have, and right now I have that one turned off. But if I click the little arrow at the right and I turn on so I will get notifications, I have a choice at how I want to get those notifications. Do I want to get them in that notification center that I got to by pulling down on the left-hand side? Okay. Do I want to get them as a little banner across the top of the screen? And do I want it, and that would be lock screen or banners, right? And do I, if those banners show up, do I want to have them show up temporarily, and they'll make a noise. They can make a sound down here, right? If they show up temporarily, usually by the time you go look at it, made a sound, you go look at it, it disappears, right? So right now, if I get a notification from Stock Tracker, it makes a noise on my phone, for example, or my iPad. By the time I go look at it, it disappears. So instead of temporary, I'm going to make it persistent. And when I make it persistent, it shows up and it doesn't go away until I put my finger on the lower portion of it and flick it out of the way. Now that can be, when you're getting notifications, if you have a source that, a news source, a lot of news sources send you a lot of notifications.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're going to get one perhaps in the middle of what we're covering today, and you'll see what I mean.
I see you.
Okay? Do I have any questions about notifications? Oh, there's a quiet group this morning. Okay. The next sweeps. Okay. One is if you put your finger in the middle of the screen, there came a news, right? And I'll flick it out of the way by putting my finger on the lower portion of it and flicking it up. If I put my finger in the middle of the screen, like here, and pull down, I get these search,
Oh, yeah.
right? And I can find things on my iPad. We talked about that last week, did we? I don't remember. But there's the search feature, right? Putting your finger in the middle of the screen and pulling down. Middle of the screen, pull down. And now I can search for, let's see if I got any mail from Jim. So I tap and I type GIM, right? Okay, so I've got a message from Jim Cerny in my email, right? I have 3 Jims. I have 2 Jims in my contacts, Jim Gould and Terry and Jim Willard, Jim Cerny, and I have just a general Jim. So if I wanted to search the internet for Jim, and I tap right here, I would go to Jim. On the internet, and would do a Google search for Jim. Okay. So they used to call it spotlight search. I think they call it Siri search now.
Mhm.
2 ones from the bottom. I'm going to go to an application like I'm going to go to Safari. So I'm looking at Safari, and if I want to go to a different app, I usually have to go back to the home screen. But you really don't have to do that. You can put your finger on the bottom and just put it on the bottom and just pull up slightly. Whoops, there we go. And pull up slightly, and I get the
On Apple Music.
the bar at the bottom.
The dock.
Pardon me?
That's called the dock, isn't it?
Yeah, thank you. I had a senior moment there, Greg. I get the dock at the bottom, right? And if I move the screen around, I lose the dock, but then there's the dock back again. Okay? And I could go to any application I have on the dock by just clicking on it. And it would shift. I want to go to tips. Now I'm at tips. And I could bring up the dock again. Okay. Whoops. And there's the dock. All right.
Oh, mhm.
So far, so good.
I got a couple of questions. You
Go.
said pull down from the left to get the notification center, but if you go to the top and pull down in the center, it gets you the same thing, I believe.
Yes, it does. It's only on the right where it gives you the control center.
And of course, just to confuse us, the phones have to be pulled up from the bottom instead of down from the top. The second question is on the iPads that have home buttons. Do you still pull up from the bottom, or do you have to hit the home button to get it?
Nope. All you're getting is the dock. You're not getting the home screen.
Because when I pull up from the bottom, I tend to get the notification center on my phone, even if I'm in the middle.
I'm on the iPad totally now.
All right, I won't deal with that question this week.
Yeah, deal with that question next week. We'll do the iPad next week. I mean, iPhone next week. Okay.
Where can you get the tips icon that's on your dock?
You should have tips on your screen if you haven't removed it. It's at the Apple Store.
Chips.
Bill,
Yes.
could you please repeat how to make the notification center persistent instead of, you said that a little while ago. I didn't quite get that. Instead that it
Oh,
moves away.
persistent.
Yeah, persistent.
Yes. You go to settings
Of course.
and then notifications. And you choose the application you would like to be persistent.
Uh-huh.
So I'll choose, let's say, earthquakes. So if an earthquake happens and the earthquakes, I'm going to allow it. And I want it to be a banner. So I have the banner checked. and it says temporary. It says temporary. I click on temporary and make it persistent.
Okay.
So now if I get an earthquake notification, at least it'll be persistent.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. All right. And if you put your finger on the bottom and you pull up to the middle, well, you're on your home screen. All right, does that work anywhere? Let me try something here. Yes. If you pull it up to the middle, it's another way to get the active applications. So these are the applications I have active right now. And if I go back to my home screen, right? And I want to look at those applications that are active, you can double tap the home button, or you can put your finger at the bottom and just flick up. I'm sorry, pull up to the middle of the screen, and that will show up. Did that make sense to everybody? Let's go through all those.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Okay, I'm on my home screen. All right.
Mhm.
And I want to see what applications are active. I can double tap the home button, tap, and it shows you. Then I tap the home button again to go back. Now, if you have an iPad Pro, it's slightly different.
Didn't do it.
If you put your finger at the bottom and you pull up to, oops, and you pull up to the middle and stop. Let me do it with the mouse pointer here. I pull my up to the middle, won't work with that. What I'm doing is this action. I have my finger at the bottom edge and I pull up and stop in the middle.
Okay, that works.
Got that one? Yes?
Once I got it.
If you leave all of those open all the time, I just closed about 20 of them. Does that make the iPad slow down?
It uses battery life and slows down slightly, right? We can sweep them out of the way. And I'm doing 2 at a time here by 2 fingers. I put my app on the 2 top right icons and I just push up. So I can get rid of 2 at a time here. All right. So that's sweeping up from the bottom. If you're at a different app, and I'm in the photo app, and I flick up from the bottom, it takes me back to the home screen. Instead of pressing the home button, I can flick up from the bottom. And what's a flick? You put your finger at the bottom and you flick. Let's see if I,
No, I need get photos.
flick up. And that means you just kind of whip up with your finger, right? So everybody should try those, see if we can get them to work. The next question, I have a question for everybody, and that is, how many applications can you put on the dock? And Greg, you can't answer this. Nobody knows?
Too many.
15.
How many do I have down there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
11.
9.
I have
Nine.
11.
15, let's say, altogether.
Somebody figured it out. There are 13 total you can put down there. And how do you put them down there? Well, you get the apps to wiggle a little by just placing, long touching any position, any place on your iPad face. They start wiggling. And I'm going to put a couple more down there. Okay, now I've got 13 down there. If I try to put a 14th one, it won't go. I would like everybody to put these 3 down there. Mail,
Neil, that's right.
Which ones?
mail,
Mail.
photos,
Right. Got that.
Safari,
Got that.
and notes.
No.
That's for an exercise a little later.
If I have too many already, how do I get rid of them?
You remove them.
And
Get them to wiggle. And let's say I wanted to remove the, I wanted to remove the, the tips one. I just click and drag it off and put it on the screen above it.
I dragged my tips away and it stayed on the bottom and it's also on the top.
Okay.
Thank you,
Many
that
of us
worked.
have that particular feature running. I'm glad you asked that, Ann. Over here on the right, there are 2 or 3 apps, and then there's a line. Is that what you have, Ann?
I have some that, yes.
There's a little line there. The items to the right of that line are the most recently used. I choose not to put that down there, so there's a way to get rid of that line so you can control all of the things that are down here. And you do that by going to Settings, Home Screen and Dock, and then scroll down to where it says Show Suggested and Recent Apps in Dock. And you turn that off. And then there won't be apps down there that you didn't put down there. Only the ones that you want down there will be down there.
Bill,
Yes,
on my iPad mini, I can only put 6. Is it because it's the older one?
the mini might have more limitation. Are you holding it vertically or horizontally?
Horizontally.
Yeah, there
No,
may be a
vertically.
limit on the iPad mini.
Okay, okay.
Home page,
Go ahead.
like if you swipe to the left or right, you'll get another panel with apps pictures,
Could you say that
like
again,
on a
Leah?
phone.
Could you say that
If-
again, Leah?
Yes, if you put your finger on your home page and you just swipe it to the left or to the right, would you not get another panel
Well, I'm
or,
going to cover those now.
screen that has different apps on it?
We're going to cover that next.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's okay.
Jump the gun.
If I sweep from left,
Oh, it's in a
from
part of the
right to
sweep.
left, like so, we get different panels or different home screens. Okay, I happen to have four of them. Right. And there are 4 dots down here at the bottom. And if I tap on any one of those dots, it will take me direct move. It's supposed to take me directly to that particular screen. Except that, yeah, it should. Yeah, it does. Okay.
Mine doesn't.
Now you'll notice I have the magnifier app on this page and I want to put it on the other page. If I get them to wiggle, then I can put my finger on them, hold it down, and then move to the edge and then put it on this page. But when to put it back there, I would put it near the edge here and then we'll go to the next page and then I could drop it there. We'll go another page over. Okay?
Bill,
Mm-hmm.
when I try to put 2 or 3 things in a box, they move around, they disappear, something else shows up in the box. I'm having a lot of trouble with that.
You're chasing it around a lot.
Yeah.
Get them to wiggle. Sometimes if I go and try to move shortcuts on top of tips, it keeps moving away from me.
Mm-hmm.
Slowly sneak up on it. And you finally get it on top of it.
Uh-huh. Okay.
It does take a little practice sometimes. It's running away from you. Okay.
I have a question, Bill.
Go
Is
ahead.
there any way when you move one to another place that you don't have all the others move?
Nope.
There's no way.
Nope.
Because, that's, you get them all just sitting and you think, well, I want this one, and then they all move again. Okay.
In other words, if I move, they all want to, they have to fill in. In other words, they have to fill in all the spaces. So when I pull this one out of here, you see how they filled in? And if I put it in here, they kind of, right? It's funny because I move around these things in all my classes and I can never remember where I am. So far, so good?
Why is there nothing on reminders?
No, there's something there. It's just the background. If I move it down here, it's a different color. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting, isn't that?
Yeah.
Not sure why that's happening.
Technology and has a mind of its own many times.
I may have to restart my iPad to get rid of that problem. Okay. I think they try in some, if I move over to here, you see how the apps take on a different color depending on the background?
Mm-hmm.
Or the folders do.
Yeah.
Something tells me that the reminders app is using that. Oh, there it is. Now you can see it. Don't ask me why, okay?
If you click off, you can't see it.
I can see it now.
But click off so you're not wiggling.
Oh, it's there.
It's don't ask me why. Come on. All right, there's one other thing we got to talk about a little bit, and it's called that widget thing. And if I drag to the left, I get my widgets to show up. Okay. So if I'm on the last home screen, and if I go from left to right by putting my finger on the screen and pulling this way, I get the widgets to show up. Okay. And here's my widgets that I've set up. We talked about widgets last time. I don't want to get deeply into widgets right now, okay? But I do want to show you something here. There's another way to look at your home screen. If I go to Settings, Display and Brightness, I'm sorry, Home Screen and Dock is where I wanted you to go right now. Home Screen and Dock. And you see it says, on mine, it says bigger or more. Bigger or more. If you click on more, it actually shows you more applications on the apps are slightly smaller, and it shows you 30 apps versus 20. And it also has the widget screen on there permanently. Well, not quite permanently. Okay. Get the idea there?
You have to have better eyes, though.
Well, it's not too much different.
No.
On your widget screen on your first panel, you have to make your icons or your app icons smaller. Or use the more button.
Is that what I did? No.
Yes, that's what you did.
That's what you
No,
did.
hold on.
That's why I said there's.
I make them bigger. And now I can get them to show up there, but the home screens.
You can't see the home screen too.
Yeah, faded out, right? In other words, if I want the widgets now, I go like this, and the home screen fades out. And I'm in the bigger view now. If I go back to settings, home screen, and smaller. And by the way, you see where it says, everybody go to settings, home screen, and dock.
How can I leave Zoom?
That's okay. Go ahead and leave Zoom.
Okay.
I don't seem to have home screen and dock on my list of settings. Is there another name for it?
You're on an iPad mini, or how old's your iPad?
Mini.
That's why.
Yes, my mini does not have home screen and dock.
Yeah.
No.
You
Yeah,
can't.
mine does.
And you have a mini? So it's the,
Yeah.
it may be the 8, it may be the 8 mini as well. Okay, it's the operating system. What version of the operating system you have?
14.1.
And you don't get this?
And I do get it.
Right, if you don't have 14.1, you probably won't.
Oh.
And you see right here where it says keep today view on home screen? So if I turn that on, now when I go back to the home screen, ooh, where's the today view? Come on. There it is.
Saturday, November 7th.
There's the today view on my home screen. And it will always be there.
I don't think it lets you do that if your icons are chosen as bigger. It doesn't give you
Correct.
that choice.
That's correct. Because there isn't enough space. All right. So we just done a whole bunch of sweeps, right?
Yeah.
I remember which way is which.
Now, by the way, I will be sending you a handout at the end of the class that has all these things mentioned. Okay.
I hear I'm breaking everything down.
That's okay. There's something happens when you write things down. It has to pass through your brain, and some of it sticks.
Right.
Good.
Some of it you can't read with your notes.
Yeah, my notes aren't very good. You know, on my new iPad, you know, the 7th generation,
Yeah.
when you just sweep to the left, my widgets come up and my they just stay. I can get all of it like that.
Like this, right?
Without making my apps smaller.
Right, but they won't stay there.
Oh, okay. No, they don't stay, but it's very easy. It's very easy
The
to see.
background, the home screen then goes fuzzy on you.
Uh-huh. Yeah, if you want to see it all the time.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. Good.
Bill, I have a question.
Go ahead.
I can't get the keep today view on home screen. I can't get that to go on, and yet the one on the bottom goes on fine, but I just cannot get this thing to go on. Is there any reason that would happen?
Yes, you have it in bigger view. You tap more here at the top. And now you can adjust it. Bigger won't allow you to do it. Okay, did that work?
Neither
It
will
did, thank you.
Okay,
portrait view. It goes away in portrait view,
also,
even with the smaller icons.
correct. So that's another one, right? If you're in portrait view, it won't quite work either. Okay. While we're, everybody go to settings, display and brightness. I'm sorry, settings, home screen and dock. And where it says multitasking there.
Settings. Home screen.
Home screen and dock, if you have that.
Don't have it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
And hit the multitasking and make sure you have allow multitask multiple apps and gestures on.
Why?
It's something we're going to cover a little later. Okay. So those of you who don't have that, don't have the capability to do some of the things we'll talk about in a little while. Okay.
Bill, I have an old mini app. I think it says version 9.3.6.
Somebody said, why didn't Biden campaign? Answer, because the fix was in.
We're hearing somebody's voice and we shouldn't be.
And you? Yeah.
Bill,
Yeah,
I'm
Phyllis,
looking at my mini.
yeah, Phyllis, your iPad's old enough so you don't have some of these features.
Oh, I got my mini when they first invented them.
That's old.
Not quite that long ago, Phyllis.
We were in a class and you looked down and you saw my mini and your eyes lit up and you said, "You've got a mini." That was 100 years ago.
Yeah, especially after this year, it seems like 100 years ago, doesn't it?
Bill, if it's not on the mini, can we go to the iPhone?
No, multitasking doesn't work on the iPhone either.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I want to demo a little bit about multitasking here. All right. I'm going to demonstrate this and then we'll start in a little while. Suppose you're writing an email. And so I'm going to start an email. And I'm going to start writing. And I bring up the keyboard and I just say, I want to send this to my wife. And we're going to talk about dinner. And I want to ask her, I'm going to use the microphone. Out to dinner tonight? Period. All right. But I would like to add to that. I would like to add to that a picture of the restaurant I want to go to, or a picture that's in my photo library. Right? You with me so far, everybody?
Yes, and how do you get out of that and get the other thing in?
That's what I'm going to show you.
Oh, goody.
Now I go down here and I came down to the bottom of the screen and I get the dock to show up, and I put my mouse pointer on pictures and I pull it up and I move it over here to the side and I let go.
Ah,
And now I'm going to go to my photos, favorite photos, and I'll do this. I got this picture and I should be able to drag it over. There I did. So I drug that picture over. It was our wedding picture.
Wow.
ah.
Right? And I drug it over and I put it in the picture, in the email. Right?
Wow.
And now in order to get rid of that sidebar, now I could click up here at the top. See that little bar up there? I could go over here and it would be actually two different panels.
How did you do that? What did you do?
I'm going to do it again. Right now I drug it off my taskbar and put it up here. And now it's an overlay, right? If I wanted
Yes.
to make it two different panels, I put my finger right up here at the top and I can move that panel around. And if I move that panel clear to the edge, and now it's half the screen. And I can get another picture and move it over here. And now we got two pictures in my email. Okay. And then I can send that. And I'm going to send it medium. Wing. That makes sense to everybody? Now we're going to try that again. Now to get rid of these things, by the way, you can just see the little bar there in the middle. I'm pointing to it on the screen. And if I swing it this way, now it's just mail on the screen. Okay. And then if I want to go back to the home screen, I can come up from the bottom and go like that. Okay. So now let's try it together. Those of you who have the newer iPads. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to open my email. And I'm going to start a new email by clicking the pen and paper. So far, so good?
Yeah.
Now I could address it to someone. I could put a subject on it. And then I could come down here and start some text. And if you have the keyboard showing up, which it should, and I'm just going to use the microphone to do my text, right? How are you today? Period.
How are you today?
I got yours too.
Right.
Okay.
Testing speaker.
How are you today?
Speaker down here. Testing speaker.
I'm going to mute you folks. Okay, go ahead. Now, if you want to ask a question, be sure to unmute yourself. Okay. So far, we should have a message that's being sent to somebody who knows who, right? And I want to get the taskbar to show up, and I got to get rid of the keyboard, I think, to do that. No, I can do that. And then I'm gonna grab my photos, which are down on the dock as well. And I'm just gonna put my finger on it, and I'm gonna gradually pull it up here and see what happens. Don't give up on it, just pull it up there, and then you can release it, and then you have your pictures. And let's say I'm sending a picture of my mouse here, right? See it? And I just go and I drag it over here and drop it. And there's my mouse. Nice sunset. We can drag that over and drop it as well.
Can
Where
you
it's
run,
dropping?
Drop it. I just let my finger off the screen. So you put your
But it's
finger.
not in the body, not in the body underneath the subject and the salutation. It's
Just-
underneath what you've done.
Well, it's wherever the cursor is, I believe. So if I put the cursor at the end there, let me try to move another one. I'll move this one. I can put it up here above the salutation. Then I have the salutation and then I have.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Bill,
Yeah.
I cannot, and I have a newer model. I cannot pull my taskbar up when I am in the email. I just can't get it to come up.
Okay, I need you to go to settings.
Okay, hold on a sec. Let's go to settings. All right,
Home screen and dock,
got it,
multitasking,
got it. Gestures
make sure both are on.
they are both on.
Okay. And then if you put your finger at the bottom, let me go to mail.
Okay,
You
hold on, I gotta
pull
go
up.
back to,
Go back to your mail.
I'm there.
Put your finger off the screen at the bottom and just pull up slightly. And the dock should show up at the bottom. You want,
Oh, it just did it. Okay, perfect. Well, it's there somewhere. Maybe it's my fingers, hey?
I love it when that happens.
Oh my gosh, there we go. I don't have to be right in the middle. I can be off, just off the
Yes,
screen
that's-
somewhere.
Yes.
Thank you.
At the bottom then.
Yeah,
Yes. Now,
Bill,
yes,
how do I then get the photo onto my message, my email? I've got the multi-screen, I've got the photo pulled
Okay.
up.
let me get there. Mhm. Mhm.
I've got my photos, but now I'm lost.
So you have your photos that look like mine right now?
Yeah,
Okay, put your finger on one of your photos,
yeah.
hold it there and move it over to the, okay?
Oh,
The little dot on the screen represents, my finger. I press and hold it, and then I pull it over here.
mine doesn't do that.
now I got it. Thank you.
Bill,
Yep,
when I'm in email, I'm writing an email, and when I bring the dock up and hit photos, I get the full page of photos. I don't get my email
No.
and photos.
Oh, that's what you're doing inappropriately.
Hmm?
Okay, let me get rid of mine for a minute. Now I'm back in my mail, start a new email.
Uh-huh,
I get the dock thing to come up,
uh-huh.
and then put your finger on photos. Don't take it off, put it on photos and drag it so it looks like that,
Uh-huh, okay.
okay? And then release,
Aha. Okay, I'll try that. Thank you.
okay? Now, if you want it to be half the screen instead of this overlay, you can put your finger at the top, putting it at the top the little horizontal line at the top. And that allows you to move the overlay around. And you can move that overlay to the
Yeah.
edge. And now it's half the screen. Some people like this better. And then you can move that picture. Okay.
Hey, Bill,
Yeah.
I've never done it that way, but there's another way to do it. If you're in the body of the email, wherever it is you want to send,
Yeah,
just hold your,
I didn't, I can talk about that next. I just wanted to.
okay, cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bill, I have the two screens, but when I put my finger on the picture that I want to move, it doesn't move.
Hold it there for a little while.
Okay.
Now move it.
It still doesn't. Okay. No. Okay. I did. Thank you. Thank you.
Just,
Bill?
it's a matter. Yeah, go ahead.
When I move the picture over onto the screen, which I can do, and I let go, it jumps back. It doesn't stay on the new message.
Where are you trying to put it on that screen?
In the body of the.
Does it have, we're moving around to it has a little plus sign on it. See how mine has a little plus sign on it when I move it over there? If I have it up here, it's going to jump back. If I move it down here to where it has a plus sign on it, it will stay there.
Actually, that doesn't necessarily happen.
Well,
Oh dear.
I have the same problem. It jumps right back.
But with the plus sign, it doesn't.
No, even, okay, even with a plus sign, it does. I'll try.
well, no, if you scroll down, the plus, it may be way further down the email.
Moving it further down helped.
There we go. All right, questions about that? Another place where this would come in handy, what if you found an article you wanted on the internet and you wanted to either put it in notes or put it in an email, right? So I go to the internet, right? And let's go to DuckDuckGo this time. And we're going to look up maple trees. So I've gone to the internet, I've looked up maple trees, and I'm going to go down here to doesn't matter. I'm going to pick an article about maple trees. Okay. And I'm going to go down here and pick that article. Right? And let me now I'm going to bring up notes. Oops, didn't want to do it that way. Too used to doing it my old way. Come down here. Bring up notes. Select this article. I'm going to start a new note. I'm going to copy this article. And now I'm just going to copy, come over here and paste. Okay. Now, if you didn't follow that, we're going to do it again. And I did a couple of things there that were kind of interesting. Right? I'm looking for an article about something, maple trees. And I open the article. And I have something called Reader View. Here's the article I'm looking at. And I have something called Reader View, which gets rid of all the extraneous stuff that's going on. And I get to Reader View by clicking the double A's up here on the top of Safari. It says Show Reader View. And when I do that, I get some nice text down here, right? With me so far, everybody? You shaking your head? I can't tell.
Yes.
All right. Now I'd like to copy this paragraph. Okay. I can do this a couple of different ways. I can, come on. I can tap the word maple, or hard press the word maple, and it shows up. And you see the little lollipop at the bottom, lollipop at the pointing up. I'm going to put my finger on the lollipop at the bottom and pull it over the rest of the paragraph. And I tap the middle of the paragraph and it says copy. Then I come over here to my note and I hard press and it says paste. And it's going to paste where the cursor is blinking. And just to make my point, I've got the cursor in the middle of the document here. If I hard press there, oh, it won't work. Thought it would. If I hard press where the cursor is at the end of the document, and it allows me to paste. All right.
Question.
So a couple of little things I showed you along the way where the reader view.
Oh, put me on.
And one more thing I want to show you. Now I have all these things in notes. This doesn't work everywhere, but if I triple tap the word maple right here, if I triple tap that, 1, 2, 3, it selects the whole paragraph.
Ah.
Now it didn't work on, and I think that works on email too, but it did not work on when I was looking at Safari there. Triple tap, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 2 taps gives you the word maple, or hard press gives you, 2 taps gives you the word maple. This is one they just changed. So people are complaining. I often talk to folks and they say, why do they keep updating stuff? I just learned how to do it, right? And then they changed it. This is one of those. Double tap the word and it selects the word. Triple tap the word and it selects the paragraph. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Bill, this just made it just like the Mac.
Yep.
Ask a question about your process.
Go ahead, please.
With when you did the email, you selected the email and got it ready first, and then you got your photo and put it in. When you did this, you got your article and then got the notes.
Right. Well, that's
Does it
usually
matter?
you usually do it that way. No, it doesn't matter, but usually you're reading an article and have the thought you want to do it. The other one was you're writing an email, oh, I'd like to include a picture, and then you add the picture. So
Okay, so you can
it's
do
just,
it either way.
you can do it either way. Just, all right.
Okay, thank you.
By the way, you see how they're half and half? I think you can make it a quarter and half. Okay. By moving that little vertical bar in the middle. You can also pull it back to overlay mode by pulling it down. I think you can. Nope, thought you could. Yeah, you can. There it is. Okay.
Question, Bill?
Yes, please.
Can you do the same cut and paste routine with, say, a picture of the leaves or the one of the pictures illustrated in this page?
I don't know. Never tried it. I would doubt it, but let's see if we can. Nope.
Copy.
I
just did that, yeah.
I can copy the picture and then come over here. Yeah, you can copy and paste it, but you can't drag it.
Could I ask a question about sending the photo? When it says short, medium, and large, what effect does that have on my computer or the person I'm sending it to?
It has more of an effect on the email itself, how big the email is.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So if it's small, medium, it's small, it takes up less space and the email tends to go a little quicker. Medium, I usually send it medium. If it's a really good picture and you think they might want to make a print of it or something, you might want to use large.
but is it using up more of their space depending on which?
It's the number of pixels in the picture they're sending.
Oh.
Where is that?
All right. Got a couple of good ones. By the way, I think, let me get rid of that. I've got Safari. You can get two versions of Safari up as well by just dragging Safari a second time. Oops, let me do it again. So now I have two versions of Safari on the screen. Then I can have one version at one place and the other version at a different place on the internet. I'll go to DuckDuckGo and this time I'll go to oak trees. right, and we'll get some pictures of oak trees here. Okay. So you could use this technique if you are doing some research and you want to compare articles or things like that, right? To see how valid the internet really is. You can say, hey, this website says that the maximum height of a tree is 100, and this one says it's 150. Not that that's a real life example, but it gives you an idea of what you can do. So the side-by-side viewing is kind of a nice feature. All right, any questions about that one? The intention of all this is just to get you the experience of learning it or seeing someone do it and then trying it yourself and then practice it a little bit. And then when you are looking at something, you may come, oh, this would be a good place to use that. Okay. Apple added this feature called dark mode. If you go to settings, display and brightness, Apple's been trying for some time to make their devices eye-friendly and eye-friendly at night, especially. So there's a bunch of features here to do that. In display and brightness, they have a light mode and a dark mode. Right now we're in light mode. If I switch to dark mode, see what happens? And if I go back to the home screen, it's entirely different. Okay. Settings, display and brightness. And you can have your device switch to automatic or switch automatically depending on when you want it to happen. For example, I have my automatic turned on. If I turn off automatic, I have complete control when I get light and dark mode by going to here. They've added a feature called automatic where it will change depending on the options there. If I tap the options, it says sunrise to sunset, depending on where you are, that's what it'll change, right? That's when it will change. I can also customize the schedule where I can say, start on light mode at this time, switch to dark mode at this time, okay? So right now it starts light mode at 7 and exits to dark mode at 10, if I took custom. Automatically adapt your iPad display on the ambient light conditions. Now, I don't think you're going to see any difference if I switch the brightness, right? And that means I'm setting the brightness that I want on my display, and when I go into a closet, it'll make the same brightness relative to the light in the closet. And that means the light in the closet gets darker, the display will also get darker. You go into the sunlight, relative to the sunlight, the brightness will go up. And true tone, right? True tone ends a little more, takes the blue out, makes it more of a taupe color. And that's also what happens with display and brightness, where it says night shift. Night shift. if I tap on night shift, it says I'm going to go, I have it scheduled to go on at 10 p.m. and go off at 7 a.m. I'm going to change that since we have, oh, I should mention this. To change the time now, for example, I have to tap it and then put my finger on it and change the particular digits. So I want it to go to night mode at 7. I'll make it 6 p.m. and turn off at 7 a.m. And right down here is where you can adjust how warm you want the night tone to be. And if you're doing that yourself, you're going to see on your screen, you don't see it on my screen. When I move that little dot around, you don't see it on my screen, but on yours you will. And that allows you to make it more, or take out the blue versus add the blue.
Question, Bill.
Yes.
Any suggestions on improving visibility in direct sunlight?
Good question. No, just that one where, right, make sure you have the brightness turn pretty bright here, and it will adjust the brightness accordingly to the outside. I would imagine when you go out in the sunlight, this thing, this barometer here goes to max, right? In the sunlight. That's the only one I know of to do something with that.
Bill,
Yes.
is True Tone on, excuse me, is True Tone only on newer iPads? Because I don't have True Tone on my device.
And you have the latest operating system?
I have the latest, well, I have a 14.01.
Okay, yes, you do.
I have an iPad Air 2.
I'm surprised you don't have True Tone there.
I don't
I
either.
don't either, Bill, and I have 14.1.
Yeah, so it's the age of the iPad.
Right.
Because I have an iPad Air new, not an iPad Air 2.
Well, that's what I have, an iPad Air 2.
No, I don't have that. I have the new iPad Air.
Oh, you got rid of your old one.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
They probably have that built in now.
Yeah, and there's a few things I don't have on my devices, you know, with the new operating system.
Right.
Right. Let me keep.
No options.
The keyboard when it shows up. You can put your finger on the keyboard and squeeze, and it goes into a corner.
Why would you do that?
Good question. If you'd like to have a smaller keyboard, what I'm doing is pinching, putting my fingers spread apart on the screen and pinching them on the screen. And then the reverse of that to make it get bigger. One of the reasons you may want to do that is the other feature I want to show you is you can put your finger on the keyboard and you don't need to lift it to get a word. So if I want to spell train, I just put it on the T, move over to the R, move over to the A, move over to the I, move over to the N, and it spells train. Now they've had that on Android devices for a long time, but I forget what the feature is called. All right. So that's a cool feature and allows you to do that. And it's on the iPhone as well. I think it's on the standard screen on the iPhone. You can sweep your finger around like that to actually type a word. All right.
How do you make it smaller again?
You put 2 fingers on the keyboard and squeeze.
Bill, it's called swipe.
It's called swipe when you're typing
Yes.
with it? Okay, thank you. I'm just seeing if there's a place on the keyboard. It looks like slide on the floating keyboard to type. Has to be on in settings, general keyboards. So you go to settings, general, and keyboards. So everybody go there because there's a couple of things I'd like to mention there as well. As far as tips are concerned, settings, general, keyboards. First of all, I have multiple keyboards. I have 5 of them. See where mine says 5? And if you tap that, you'll see I have a Korean, an Emoj, and some other keyboards. Specifically, I want to talk about the Korean one. If you have, if you're multilingual and they're able to speak different languages, you can have your country's keyboard here. And if you see where it says down here, add a keyboard, if you click there, you can scroll. Time's up. You can scroll down here and pick many different keyboards. This is where I got the Korean keyboard, right? And you can select it. So if I want a Latvian keyboard, I just tap that and now it's added. All right, so that's number 1. Now your question might be, well, how do I use that Latvian keyboard? If I'm in notes, the little globe shows up at the bottom. I tap the little note. Got too many things on my screen here. And there's Latvian. That keyboard doesn't look much different, does it?
No.
Right? But certainly if I pick, by the way, I have the globe down there, so I press and hold. It's called long press. I long press the globe and I tap on the Korean keyboard, and that's what the Korean keyboard looks like. Long press, go back to English. Long press, go to the emojis. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to settings there in the keyboards. I'm going to remove the Latvian one. All right.
Whatever you say.
And another feature there is called text replacement. Suppose there's an expression or a salutation or something you always use, or most always use. You can go here and say text replacement, okay? And I have several of them there. One's IWBT, I will be there. Or if I put a 0 and the @ sign, I'll get WTM, I'll get my email address. If I type in WTC down here, whoa, there we go.
On my way.
Never be able to do that. Wow. All right. So if I tap down here, edit, I can add something else, right? So go ahead and try that. Put in your initials. Go ahead down there, tap edit, replacement keyboard, tap edit there at the bottom. My mouse just died on me. That's interesting. Put in your initials and then go back and open the Notes app. And I'm going to tap in 2 @ signs and press enter, space bar, and you see what it did? It replaced the text that I typed in, @ sign, space bar, and it said, oh. So we're assuming here you're never going to use 2 @ signs together and want those, okay? While I'm there, if you look down at my keyboard, look at the keyboard down here. Yes? You see the gray numbers on the top of the keyboard? You no longer have to go to the 1, 2, 3 keyboard to get those numbers. You can just put your finger on it, press and pull down and get that number to show up. And sign, ampersand, parentheses, colon. Any one of the keys that has the gray above it, you can use that. Over here we have the exclamation point. I think I can pull that down and get that without going to caps. Make sense, everybody? While we're on the keyboard there, right? I have autocorrect turned on, I have shortcuts turned on, I have smart punctuation, all the features to help me make my messages better. And I have predictive turned on. That's what turns on that little bar. Slide on floating keyboard to type. And that's what what was that feature called again? Swipe? Swipe? Slide on floating keyboard to type.
Well, I guess it takes a lot of practice with that sliding on the keyboard.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I've been making a mess of it.
That's the way you learn.
Once you get it, it's a super time saver.
Yeah.
Really? Do you use the small keyboard or do you use the whole big one?
Well, I learned on my Android phone, and that's a tiny, tiny keyboard, so it's really easy once you get the hang of it.
I don't think you can do it on the large keyboard.
I use it on the large keyboard on my iPad. It does work.
Does it?
Yep.
You find it easier on the phone?
Well, it's easy on iPad and the phone now because I'm used to it, and then that's the only way I type is swiping.
Do you have, Lake, do you have a Pro?
Let's see what I got here. I have.
Does it have a home button?
Sure, of course.
I can't get it to work on mine.
Huh.
I'm trying here.
Oh, I know why, because I use a Gboard.
Ah, you're not using what came with Apple. Yes.
Exactly.
There's an app you can get that does it as well.
Yeah, the Gboard is the best.
Okay, did you hear that? That's the name of the keyboard?
Yep.
Keyboard, thanks.
You're welcome.
That's at the Apple Store.
Yep, and it's free.
And it's free.
For those who don't know, we now have a president-elect Joe Biden. He got 273
Right.
electoral votes.
So it's been announced.
Yes.
How is the recount in or one of the other states gonna affect it?
Oh, he got Pennsylvania,
He
so
got
that's,
Pennsylvania.
He did.
Of
So I
course
guess
he-
Arizona is still not a definite.
Of course he did, right?
They also said President Trump could run in 4 years again. Oh my God, I'll be dead. Oh,
All right.
Biden will be dead before then.
Let me get rid of this. In Photos, one of the things they've added to Photos, it's a nice little trick. I go to my Photos. And I have a bunch of albums down here. Oftentimes people create albums. So I have an album of photos. So now I'm looking at my album of photos. And they want to rearrange them, right? They want to put them in whatever order they would like. You can do that now by clicking and dragging, or touching and dragging. Now you can do that in the albums. You cannot do it in the, what's it called? The main, all my photos, right? You can't do it in there. Okay. In your recent photos, you cannot rearrange those. Those are in there. I believe you cannot. No, you can't. Those are in there in chronological order and they don't allow you to change those. But if you create an album of whatever photos you're interested in, you can do that. You can add multiple fingerprints, right, to your device. Let me go to there. I'm going to go to settings. And Touch ID or Face ID, depending on the device you have. Got to put in your code. And you can add a fingerprint or add another face by just clicking there. So if you have one that's not working very well, you can try another one. You can change your clock. If you're a military person, etc., you want a 24-hour clock instead of the 12-hour clock. You go to settings, general, time and date. You can make it a 24-hour clock or a 12-hour clock. Show AM and PM, show date on this, everything on the status bar at the top. You can set it automatically, or you can have it be on a particular time zone constantly. When you say set it automatically, it will, if you take your phone and you fly to Germany, variable, you will end up with the German time if it sets it automatically. Here on the,
about what you're,
go ahead.
the way you were filling in some things, will there be, what does the iPad allow cookies as the as the regular laptop does many times?
Yes.
You have to approve them, or can you not get them?
Go to settings, Safari. We'll see what kind of controls you have there on Safari. You can block pop-ups and you can block cookies. So there's where you would block cookies, and up here is where you would block pop-ups. I do need to mention that sometimes you go to a website and it wants you to allow cookies. It used to be some of the banking websites wanted you to allow cookies because they wanted to use that as a secondary way to identify you've been there before.
My new iPad doesn't have the opportunity to block cookies.
It does not?
No. Mm-mm.
What the operating system is what should be.
It says block pop-ups, show favorite bar.
Under privacy and security, all the way down.
Scroll down a little further.
Oh, here they are. Okay, sorry. Now, if you block cookies, so doesn't that block a lot of stuff that you can get? I mean,
it's blocking a lot of commercials and stuff too.
well, I like
Also
that.
financial institutions. Makes it a real hassle.
Yeah. So just need to remember where this is. Right? So that,
okay, yeah, since the
so that you can go in and change it. And there it says clear history and website data. That clears everything. And I'm going to click that. and clear. And now all my cookies, my tabs, and everything have been cleared. Since we're in settings, if we go back up here to battery, they've got a couple of really nice features here in battery. I show my battery percentage, and it shows me how I've used my battery recently, right? And I show activity, and it shows the different apps I've been using and how much time I've been spending on the various apps. You can do it for last 24 hours, the last 10 days. Okay? So it's a cool feature to see what's going on and what you're using your app to do.
Yeah.
I should have turned off Dropbox. Look at that. It's been using 56 hours. No, it's not using much, right? So I should turn off that app. You know what? I just run out of my tips for the iPad. Do I have any questions?
Yes, Bill.
Go.
In the app that you just had 56 hours on, I can't remember the name.
Dropbox.
Dropbox. I use Dropbox as well, but it is not listed as being used at all.
Well, you didn't, I opened it and never closed it.
Oh, okay.
That's not saying it's doing anything, but I'm sure every once in a while it goes to check things. You know, you bring up an interesting point on your email, right? Let me see where that is now. If you go to settings and mail, there's a little feature in mail which uses resources on your iPhone or iPad that you may not be aware of. And it's called fetching data. Now the different email, the mail program itself has the capability of going to the servers, the various servers, and I have a bunch of them here, to check to see if I have more mail. And they can do it either at a set interval or when you open your mail. Okay? The email servers also have the capability of what they call push, or pushing mail to you. So let me go to here. And you see where it says push? New data will be pushed to your iPad from the server when possible. So if you had the mail app open, they would be pushing mail to you perhaps whenever you get it, whatever increment they use. So I have push turned off because I want to conserve battery. And I have all these fetches turned to manual, okay? And now I will not get new mail on my device. They won't even check or try to get new mail on my device until I open the mail application. So that does cause a bit of a delay because when I open the mail application, I don't see any new mail. So let me do that. I'll go to my mail. Right, and I look at all my inboxes, and I won't see new mail until I pull it down like so. I put my device in the middle. Whoa, not like that. I can't do it with this. Can't do it with a pointer. I put my finger right here and pull down. You see the little wheel going around? It's trying to see if I have new mail. Okay? Make sense to everybody? So I'm saving battery life by setting by putting my settings that way.
Question.
Yes.
If we turn off the push and we still have the fetch, I just turned my fetch from 15 to 30 minutes.
Every 30 minutes, we'll go out and see if you have new mail.
Okay, but that's still better than the push on all the time.
I believe so, yes. Okay. Okay, as I said to you guys, I will be sending you, let me turn off my screen here. Okay. Do I have any questions from any of you?
Yes, Bill?
Yes, go ahead.
Jim McIntyre.
Yep.
On my iPad, on the widgets screen for the weather, it's got Vancouver. And I've been trying to put it to Sarasota and I can't do it. So how could I change from Vancouver to Sarasota?
Long press the app.
Long press it.
Let me go back to my screen share. Okay.
Edit home screen, maybe let's see what that is.
Oh, I just made weather disappear. There it is.
I want mine like yours.
Right.
Sarasota.
Long press it.
Yes.
And it should come up and say remove from stack, edit screen, edit weather. Okay. And click on the eye.
Wait, I don't get that.
Okay, what weather app are you using?
The weather channel app, just like yours.
No, mine's the weather app,
Okay.
not the weather channel. You click add, long press the screen anywhere and everything starts wiggling all over the place.
Yes.
Click the plus sign. And then you should be able to get one there called weather. It's clear down here at the bottom. This one. Now that's the same as the weather channel, but it's Apple's uses weather channel data.
So I could click add that one?
Yeah, I just did. I'm going to add that one too. It's there, but you can't see it right now.
Okay, I've got it added now, so.
Okay. Well, mine both disappeared. Boy, I have some strange things going on here. Long press it and then click the eye. And it says my location. Now you can click on my location or you can go and change your location. That's interesting. Now it disappears. Oh, scary.
Oh, I got it.
Did it work, Jim?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you very much. Thanks.
You got it. Okay. Let me stop sharing the screen again.
Bill, question.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to use the two screen technique to move a photo into an email, and it seems like it doesn't work from Google Photos.
Correct.
It works from photos that are stored in your camera. Is that right?
On my iPad, yes.
Okay, got it. Okay.
It's another one of those things where Apple designed it to work with Apple products, and Google doesn't work very well.
But you can actually do that by selecting photo and using the
copy paste.
The copy paste. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, folks, have a great day. Have a great week. We'll see you next week. We'll be talking about similar kinds of things, but we'll be doing it on the iPhone now. It'll be tips and tricks for the iPhone.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks,
Very
Bill.
useful.
Great,
Very
great.
useful. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Bill.
Definitely
Thanks,
great.
Bill.
Hi, everybody.
Everybody,
Bye.
Appreciate the class.
bye now.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye, Bill. Thanks.
Take care.
Thanks.
Thanks, Hannah, for the hand.
Bill, I do not have an iPad, but I have enjoyed this, and my thoughts are
It's funny
getting
because
an iPad
politician thinks that
very
they are the
shortly.
one who has chosen.
Say again, please.
Do you? I do not have an iPad, and yet I came in today and I've made a bunch of notes and looking forward to your email.
Okay.
I am thinking very seriously of getting an iPad. What would you recommend?
The best deal out there is the iPad, the normal iPad. I don't know if it's 8th generation or whatever generation the current one is. That's the best deal out there. It's like $329.
Okay.
The iPad Air, that goes up another $100, $150, $200 to get to that.
Okay.
Right. So that one is
don't do
really good. And you can actually use a pencil with that one as well. So it's a,
With the iPad normal?
yeah, straight iPad.
Okay. And I could get it where? Can I get it in a store in town and not have to mail
Best
away
Buy.
for it?
Best Buy has it.
Best Buy.
Yeah.
I would imagine there'll be a lot of Black Friday specials on things like that.
Yeah, we've been, I don't know if they've done it on the new one yet, but it was less than $300 on when they have it on sale places.
Okay.
All
I
right.
don't expect to be doing a whole lot with it, but I would like to have one, I think.
A lot of people are
Might
starting
be
to use
easier
it
to work
instead
than
of
an
a computer.
iPhone sometimes.
I said a lot of people are starting to use it instead of a computer.
I doubt if I would ever do that, but I might. Maybe if I got a keyboard to it, I might.
Yep. And Sharon said you can get a $30 keyboard. Is that right?
$34.99, I believe, on $34.99 on Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good deal.
I have an e-reader. In fact, I have 2 e-readers. Well, 3 e-readers. They're Nooks by Barnes & Noble, and one of them has a keyboard, although I do some writing on it, but I've been having some trouble with it lately. But I think I would like something a little bigger or a little more dedicated than a Nook. Dedicated to using as you do an iPad instead of the Nook.
The iPad, you can put the Nook books on it.
Yeah, I know. I know.
They have a Nook app, and that's the way my wife uses it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Take care, everybody.
Bill,
Yes.
just one more question.
Bye-bye.
How many gigabytes do we need on an iPad? Aren't there differences?
If you're going to get I think they don't sell them. The new iPad doesn't come in less than 64.
Okay. And 64 is enough?
Oh, yes. Unless
Okay.
you're a music nut or a photograph nut.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Just sent you an text. Could you read it, please?
On a message?
Yep.
Just a minute. Messages. Where's my messages? Windows 10 S?
Yes.
No.
Okay, you're no help.
What's Windows 10 S?
It's a new operating system that, well, I don't know how new it is. I got a friend with one and I was having trouble downloading some free programs, free apps. And when I did a research, it said it was secure Windows, and the only thing you can download are things from their app, from their Play Store or whatever they call it.
Yeah, their app store. They usually, there must be a way to turn that on and off.
You can turn it off, but it's a one-way street. Once you turn it off, you can't get back in it. And I did that for a friend of mine that I felt very comfortable, and I still couldn't download I was trying to download Faststone image viewer, which I use every day, and I couldn't get it on her computer. But now I'm working with a new client. He's a professional, and he bought a brand new laptop that had me set it up on Thursday. And unfortunately, it's a Windows S.
But you can't bypass that?
Well, you can uninstall it, but the thing that they're saying is that it is so much more security. Now he's a professional who's going to be doing work, and I tend to hesitate to turn it off, that it might make him more accessible for viruses.
Exactly. Usually, a lot of the apps we go to get is in the App Store, in the Windows App Store.
Faststone is not.
Okay.
And I've been using it for years.
I know.
I don't know if you know Bill Westerhoff.
The name's familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, he was with us for quite a few years, him and Mike McNaughton. And they got us onto that, and it's a free program. Bill even wrote a tutorial on how to use it years ago.
I'm excited that they. I wonder if you could download the exec on a flash drive and do it that way.
No, I tried everything possible and couldn't get it to work.
You could, well, no. If you put it on a flash drive and then plug the flash drive in his computer.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily put it on his, but on my friends, I tried that. I copied the program from my computer and took it over to hers on a flash drive, and it wouldn't let me install it.
You copied the exec or the program?
Well, the executable, I think I copied the whole folder that it was in, which included the executable.
Okay.
But nothing worked, and that frustrated me.
What I'm talking about is the file that you download from, right? You download the exec. Okay.
Yeah, nothing worked. So I had asked Mike Hutchinson about it too, thinking he might know, but he didn't. He said he was going to do some research, but they've never worked with the Windows S.
Right. We have not.
Okay. Okay. Well, look forward to next week. Thank you very much. And I'll be anxious to get your attachment. Are you emailing the?
I'll email. What I'm going to do is record. What I'm going to do is take the recording and send you the link to the recording and this attachment at the same time.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bill,
Yes, Phyllis.
Bill, this is Phyllis here, and I have that old mini, and it says on it, it's 9.3.6, and it says it's up to date. That means that's the best I can do on that machine.
Exactly. You
And
got it,
it's-
my dear.
And it's not up to date, right?
It's not the most recent operating system. That's correct.
And that means the most recent probably would not download on this machine.
It will not. You're right.
Yeah. So what do you do with your little mini that you're in love with? You give it to the stud club, or?
Yeah, give us to the stud. We'll clean it up, and we can give it to somebody who might want to use it.
Yeah, somebody.
Because you can do email with it. You can do internet searches and things like that.
Yes, you could do a lot with it.
Yeah.
If you didn't have anything, okay, that's what I'll have to do.
All right.
I'm 94 now, and I still want to keep up if I can.
You're doing great. I mean,
It's fun.
Okay, I love this way of learning.
Good.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks for being here. Anybody else? We got it?
Yeah.
Take care, everybody. See you next week.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.